Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So excited to meet with you guys today. Things might look a little different in the background. I ended up moving my studio around. I just was not getting the best lighting where I was at, so I decided yesterday to just kind of play around. And this room is one giant square, but there's a window over here, and for whatever reason that window seems to project a lot more light in this direction. So we moved everything around, I hung everything back up, and now I'm here instead of over there. So I think I'm gonna get a little something back here just to like get rid of that dead space. But anyway, I think this lighting works a lot better for you guys to see colors and see application, and for actually the true textures of everything to turn out. I just noticed that I wasn't getting that, and this spot seems to be a good spot. So anyway, as mentioned, if you follow me on Instagram, which I would love for you to, please do. My tag is right here. And I am doing a back to basics look this week, which is this right here, using 4 eyeshadow colors and then showing you how I actually contour and do my foundation. You can take some of these colors and reduce it if you want. You could just do 3. However, I think to get the most out of your eye look, I think 4 is probably best. You do a transition color, you have your darkest on the outer third, then you of course highlight your brow bone and your inner corner, and then something a little bit different on your lid, all blended together. It gives you a really nice gradient effect and just kind of shows off some colors. These colors are something that anybody can use. It doesn't matter if you have green eyes or blue eyes or brown eyes, if they're dark blue, light blue, bright green, it doesn't matter. You can use these colors because they're all neutrals. And I think the best piece of advice that I can give you is to practice this look. If you can get the basics down, you can really start working on some of those more intricate looks that require just a bit more precision and a bit more technique. So really work hard on these eyes and tag me in your recreations. I would so love to see that. I'm always excited to see what you guys come up with and how you guys recreate what I'm doing for you here. And I think that is pretty much it. Oh, excuse my hoodie today. It's really cold here in Florida and I just did not want to put on something cute to film, but I did give you guys a little bow action in my dirty hair. So anyway, if you're interested in how to get this look, go ahead and keep watching, and I'm going to show you how to do it and all the tools and products that I use. All right, let's actually get this thing started here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is prime my face for you guys, which I typically don't do on camera. And I'm using the Urban Decay Quick Fix. This is a priming spray that I got in my Sephora Play box a couple of months ago. Smells like coconuts. See, I'm very happy about it, and I really like it. It's something I've been using lately just to prime my face with. And the next thing I'm gonna do is go in with Urban Decay's Eyeshadow Priming Potion, which I will put on my eyelids. This is to keep it from creasing. If you don't do this, definitely start. It will so help you last, or your eyeshadows last rather, all day. My face is feeling a little bit dry. We've had some cold weather here, so I decided to go ahead and use my Smashbox Moisturizing Primer. It acts as a moisturizer and a primer at the same time, and that actually helped give me some life. The Milani palette is the one that we're going to use today. This is all earth tones, you guys. So again, anything like this will work no matter what eye color you have, eye shape, eye size. Basically, natural neutral colors will work for you. So I'm using my transition shade and going all over the upper part of my crease. And my crease needs to run a little higher since I have hooded eyes. So I'll use a shadow color that is close to my skin tone. And that's going to be the first color that is a transition color. And all that does is gives me something to work with and gives my eyes a little bit of depth. The next color I'm going to use is my darkest. My darkest shade is going to go on the outer third of my eye, and I'm using that same brush that I used for the transition color. And all this is a crease brush, and it's kind of fluffy. It's not super stiff. It allows me to push color into the proper places of my eye that I'm wanting to use. My goal here for you guys is to keep the same brushes through the entire tutorial today, so you guys could see that I'm not using a ton of different brushes, a ton of different palettes, a ton of different this and that, but that this is something that could be an everyday look for you. So again, just pushing that on the outer third of my eye, and again, this gives me depth and it looks like I have such an intricate little eye look. You can start to see it kind of come together. So I'm just going to keep pushing that and blending. The key here, you guys, is going to be blend, blend, blend. You can see that I'm going back and forth to blend things out, just to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines, and to make sure that anytime I add another color, I am actually creating a very soft effect and nothing is harsh on the eye at all. and I'm excited again, apparently. Next is going to be the lid color, and this is where you get a little pop of color. This is my favorite part about doing eyes. I'm using a MAC brush again, a shader brush here, and all I'm doing is packing that onto my lid. You guys know I don't have a lot of lid space, so I have to just use what I have, and I actually go over the natural crease to what I have. And I'm actually going to use that same brush that I used to put on the darkest color and the transition color just to blend again and make sure that I'm getting rid of any harsh lines and give you guys a really weird face in the process. Let's move on to foundation. I am using the Too Faced Peach Perfect in Warm Nude on my palette. Again, that's a candle holder, you guys. That's how I get creative. I got tired of having foundation dried on the back of my hand. So I'm actually using a Real Techniques sponge today. This is something new that I've been doing. I usually use brushes. However, I have really found that I can push product into my skin and get a more smooth, flawless finish with a damp sponge. And the Beauty Blender is wonderful, but it is a $22 sponge. And I found that the Real Techniques is great. It's like a $4 sponge. And then I even have a pink one that's from Maybelline, and I think that one's $5. Those are way better than the Beauty Blender, and they're so much cheaper. So I'm going to add a little bit more because what I do when I use a sponge is typically have to build a little bit more on my foundation to get a fuller coverage. You don't have to do that. That's just something that I like to do because I do prefer a full coverage. And while it looks like I'm just running that all over my face, I'm actually pushing that product into my face. I'm using just like a patting motion, and it sounds a lot worse than what it is. So now I'm going to show you guys how I do my brows. I'm doing this on camera for you guys. I'm going to do a NYX eyebrow pencil. I have been loving this look lately. I'm pretty much a pomade girl, but I've been trying to just kind of change it up a little bit. This is something you don't have to do. Oh, my nose itches, and that's going to happen the rest of the video. I don't know what it is, but I have like this itchy nose, and so when you do that, your foundation will come off a little bit, but you can always put it back on. Anyway, so I'm using a pencil because I really wanted to try and create a softer look up front. Again, I'm a pomade girl, like I was saying. However, lately I just have been wanting to try a few new techniques and new products, and this is kind of what I do. You don't have to do that. If you find something that you love that works, go ahead and use it. This is just something I've been really liking lately, and so I've been doing it. So what I'm actually doing here is creating the hair like, it basically looks a little bit more like hair, like very natural and soft in that front part. And then I'm running a line over my brow to create a very sharpness that gives me that lift. And then I will do the same thing on the oh, another funny face at you guys. I'll do the same thing on the other eye, and then of course I'm going to go in with my pomade on the tails. So what this does is it kind of creates a gradient effect as well. So I go from light to dark. I just don't like mine to be as drastic as the trend right now. It's just not something that I find flattering on me, even though I love it on other people. So I'm using an angled brush to do that. This is actually an eyeliner brush from MAC, and it's just one of those brushes that I've just found that does my eyebrows a lot better than any other eyebrow angled brush that I have, and just allows me to get super precise because it's very stiff. So I do like that. I create a little bit more arch sometimes, and that's the beauty of the pomade, is that you can create more arch at times if you want to, or you can go super natural. So for you guys, what I did was kept everything really natural. I didn't do a super arched brow or a super full brow. I just did something that's everyday and natural and blended it, and that is kind of what you are seeing here. Note about these MAC brushes, they're from the holiday line. Lance got them for me a few years ago on my birthday, and so they're not the huge brushes that are like $60 a brush. There's something actually a little bit cheaper that came in a pack, and I love them. This is actually some clear brow gel. This is from Anastasia. However, you guys can totally use the NYX one. There's a clear brow gel that works just as good. I've just been out of that for a while. And I think now what we're going to do is contour. I love that I'm going to show you guys this today. That is a BH Cosmetics contour palette. It is one of my favorites. I've had it for years, and you will see here in a second how dark this contour shade is. Whoa. And wait till you see it on my face. However, this is one of the coolest things to actually make your face look a little bit slender, make it highlight in certain places, pick up your face a little bit if it feels a little down, all that good stuff. So I do a little bit on my forehead close to my hairline, and then I'm creating these super thick lines from my ear, the top of my ear, down towards the corner of my mouth. I suck in sometimes, as you see, just so you can figure out where the hollows of your cheeks are. You can take this either higher or lower depending on where you like it. Sometimes I go a little bit lower than my ear, and sometimes I go a little bit higher and create a more carved out look. It's just all about how slender you want your face to look. So I just did a really natural contour placement for you guys today on that. And then what I'm doing with that same brush, it's a contour brush from e.l.f. I think it was like $6. Also huge awesome price point for that brush, and I love it. And so I will just rub it in with that one, and then I took another one of my MAC brushes from that pack and just blend it in because I can get a little bit not blended enough, if you will, on my forehead. Next, I'll actually show you the bronzer. I've been warming up my face a little bit with some bronzer. I just kind of like the look that I'm getting with it. So I actually took that same MAC brush and I went right over that contour just to give myself a little bit of bronze. And you can see that my face is carving out a little bit, of course, and then you're actually seeing some of that shape take place. Now I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in Light, and this is going to highlight my face. And I've been giving my face a little bit more highlight in some other areas the past couple of weeks, and I really like that. So right here, down below the contour line, and then of course I'm going to take that once I get done and put some on my forehead, and we're going to highlight those center parts of your face. These are the parts of your face you want to bring attention to, and the reason why I did that below my contour line is it's really going to show even more of a slender look for my face. This is a beauty blender. It is a teeny tiny one, and I love it. I got this also in a Sephora Play Box. Again, you can totally use an off-brand. Make sure they are damp, if I didn't say that before. Wet it and squeeze it out so it kind of puffs up, but this actually pushes that product into your skin really well, and that is what I'm doing here, even though it looks like I'm rubbing because I fast forwarded. I'm not. I'm dabbing and pushing into my skin, as you can see in some of that technique there. That is how I am getting that look to be very soft. Whoa, look at that. You can see the actual sharpness in my face, and that's what we're going for. Okay, so this blush, let's talk about it. This is one that I got in my Ipsy Play box, not Ipsy Play, Ipsy box, or Ipsy bag. And oh my gosh, I just blew all of that blush at the camera, and I didn't realize that was happening. Anyway, I'm using a Sigma blush brush. I think it's the F86 actually. And I am just dabbing that on the apples of my cheeks and taking it right into the contour shades that I have. And that blush is a fall color. It's something that says autumn. And I really love how that color turns out. It's nice and warm. This is a new technique that I have been doing as well. I've been taking a pressed powder and only putting it on the center of my face, my chin, and a little bit on my forehead. And this is really setting my foundation very nicely, you guys. In fact, it's getting me through my gym workouts and allowing me to still have my makeup look pretty good after being super sweaty. I'm then taking the LA Girl Pro Powder that you saw, and I'm using that beauty blender to set the concealer underneath my eyes. We don't want any of those lovely little wrinkles or fine lines that we all have underneath our eyes to come out, and that's the way to keep them from showing. And I'm also forgetting to contour my nose, so that was that big light bulb moment here. But I'm going to actually show you how I contour my nose. That same awesome dark color, that's what we're going to do, and I'm using an angled brush. This is something from Arbonne. It just works really well. It's a brush I've had for years, but I'm going to draw down the sides of my nose, a straight line, that one was dark, and bring it all the way to the tip, and then do the tip. Yay, and then I rub it in with my fingers, and I'll even take the brush a little bit and rub it downward towards my eye, as you can see, to blend it in. This just gives your nose a really pretty straight line, and if you have a really straight nose, you don't need to do this, but if you want some definition, you can. My nose is pretty straight. I've never broken it, thank the Lord. However, I do like how this looks, so I tend to do it on my makeup, and I think it looks pretty awesome. There's that nose itch again that I was talking about. Now we're going to go back and finish up the eyes, and we're going to use that inner corner highlight, which is my favorite. That is one of the brightest colors in that palette. Same palette we've been working with the entire time. So I'm going to highlight my inner corner, and then I'm going to highlight in that brow bone as well. So I'm using the e.l.f. contour brush that I use all the time. It's a very stiff dome brush. It's actually a crease brush, but I use it for those highlight areas because it's super stiff and gets into those places that are hard on my eyes to get because they're so small. So as you can see, I'm just taking that and running it underneath my eyebrows and bringing it up in there. Remember before how I tell you guys that I'll only go on the actual arch of my eyebrows? I went ahead and went the full way just because I wanted my eyes to look a little bit bigger today and highlight them with the colors, and that worked. And now I'm taking that same brush that we used to do our dark color and our transition color, and I'm blending those colors in just to make sure there's no harsh lines. And I'm gonna take that same transition color because I think I noticed that I was looking a little harsh on that eye. Yep. And so we fixed it. Anytime you have a place where you just look a little too harsh, just take that transition shade, or you can even take your same brush that you don't have any product on, and you can totally just blend it back out. Well, now we're gonna curl our eyelashes. This is something I've also been doing lately. I used to not do it, but now I'm doing it. It's kind of fun, and I don't know. That eyelash curler is so cool. I got that when I worked at Sephora, so I use it. Oh, isn't that a pretty face? All right, you guys, Better Than Sex mascara. Yep, we're gonna talk about it. Is it? Isn't it? All right, so we're gonna use that. This is one of my favorite name brand mascaras from Too Faced. It is really awesome. I don't even need false lashes with this mascara just because it works so well. There's a dupe at Walmart, and I can't think of it for the life of me right now, but I believe it's by L'Oreal, and it works just as well. I just have all of these little trial size tubes that I've been getting in my Sephora box or my Ipsy box or my Ipsy Glam bag. All right, highlight time. This is one of my favorites to do. You guys know I'm huge on the highlighter, so I'm gonna take that same fan brush that I always use, highlight my nose, the bridge of it, the tip of it, and then highlight my cheeks. And I think I'm gonna go a little overboard today on the highlighter. That is my excited face. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, the highlighter was awesome. It just looked really good, and I think it just looked really nice on top of that fall blush color that I used that was super warm for my face. And it just turned out really, really well. I think I decided I was done. You guys, this was really a fun look to create for you just because I just got to not worry about talking and just do my makeup and be a complete goofball, which is pretty much my life. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. And now I'm going to actually grab a lip color for you guys. This is one of my favorite lip glosses to use. NYX has hands down the best drugstore products, and this is one of my favorites. This is their Creme Brulee lip gloss, and it's one of my favorites that I use when I don't want to use a lot of lipstick or lip color. And I think there was a hair on my face. There's my nose itching again. And last but not least, we are actually going to set our face with some Milani Make It Last setting spray. Take a bath in it. That's my motto, and I love it, and it's wonderful. Fan off, dry off, fluff your hair, and go. This is the look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you in my next tutorial.